All right, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever in the world you might be. I am Orlando, and why don't we talk about gold? What I'm looking at, or um, yes, what I'm looking at for next week. Also, the US dollar, Japanese yen, the only two markets that I trade. So, fun fact: if we go to the weekly chart and we zoom in, I don't know how many of you knew this, but at this 2 weeks ago. On Friday's close 2 weeks ago, that meant that for that week, gold closed in profits or green, I'm sorry. And that meant that gold was on a 9 week winning streak. That had happened only twice in the past, and both times we saw deep pullbacks in price. So that was a fun fact that we talked or discussed earlier. Um, with the team. But what I'm looking at for gold on this week forward chart, some key levels here. Now, first of all, the weekly chart closed bearish, but to be honest, it's not as bearish as I would want it to be for deeper pullbacks. But in any case, I'm not going to trade what I see or what I think is going to happen. I'm not going to try to predict price, but rather I'm going to go and execute on what I see. So if you notice here, a very flaggy movement, right? After that almost double top at all-time highs, we had a very, very big move to the downside. And again, a flaggy move and then another leg down. So nothing is telling me right now that we should be looking for longs on the midterm or even short term for that matter, right? Um, even the structure in this market is very, very bearish. We have three highs created on the 4 hour chart, and both of them follow a bearish structure with again very flaggy movements after the distribution. So I would be looking for long shorts, I'm sorry, on early next week. Now, targets, of course, first target should always be the structure low in this move, which is, I'm going to use the actual lines here, so which is 38.86. That would be target one. Historically speaking, I wouldn't consider another level other than this resistance turn support, which created a very, very big momentum to the upside around 37.89. So we are trading. I mean, if you notice the the week closed above the 4,000 level. That's funny. And the reason that that's funny is because it closed at 4,002, right? So bulls really worked this low on the New York session to close above 4,000. I reckon we could see a very big, dip through the weekend. Also, because Trump is now, I don't know if you noticed this or you saw this, but it's now threatening to go against Nigeria for their anti-Christian beliefs in that country. So he's threatening war um, against Nigeria. So we might see some crazy action over the weekend and a gold gapping up because of this. That would go against what I just said, but we don't know what's going to happen. So in any case, on the 5 minute chart, I'm not going to go above below the 5 minute chart. On the 5 minute chart, this market is still very much bearish, guys, even though on the very immediate short term, we are in a bullish structure, which means that price making higher highs and higher lows on the 5 minute time frame. But again, if you look at price action itself, the real momentum is to the downside, right? This choppy you need to avoid and look for entries maybe below. Um, yeah, this is much better. Yeah, the aggressive entry I would take for shorts would be below the 39.95 level. Another level that, or the level that you would definitely use for shorts would be the 39.91 level. Now, why the 31.91 level? Let's call it that, right? So, the reason that I do like this level for shorts is because one, on the short term, let me just zoom in a little bit more on this chart because I think that this is very important. Um, yeah, so this is the level that sellers were holding after that very volatile move to the downside. Now, this could be constructed or considered as a retest of previous resistance, now support, right? But again, I wouldn't be looking for longs on this such a bearish market. What I would look is for this structure to fail and now that this is the thing. This is what I always look on the charts, and let me explain. Right now, after the break of this level, short players or sellers that were late on the move that tried to execute on the bottom of the move, they got liquidated. Right. So this, what seems to be a bullish move, is nothing but a liquidation of those stop losses, right? Now, what I dig about this also is that now buyers are trapped in, right? Now, traders that got in long at the close on Friday are going to very possibly get liquidated here, right? And this is the opportunity that I'm looking to go short perhaps next week, right? So only shorts on gold. Um, yeah, I'm sorry. So I'm looking for shorts and shorts only on gold. Now, this can obviously change if the structure in this market breaks bullish, or if we open with a very high gap up, right? This might feel and continue higher. We don't know what's going to happen. I'm just trying to, have a plan for what I currently looking at, which would be sellers strapped in here, liquidated. Now buyers strapped in, then going to get liquidated for the next move down, right? So if this scenario plays out, what levels should I consider taking profit? Like I told you, next leg down would be around 39.94. That would give me from this break until here about 500 pips, possible move, or towards the entire or the bottom of the pullback structure from this possible entry would be around 800 pips or so. So that's the plan on gold. Now let's have a look at the US dollar Japanese yen. So US dollar Japanese yen, the Japanese yen is getting to very weak levels against the US dollar. Let's look at the daily, getting right there to this is early February 2025 levels. So when the US dollar Japanese yen is down, that means that the yen is strengthening against the US dollar. When it goes up, that means that the dollar is strengthening against the yen, or the yen is weakening against the dollar. So yeah, right now the yen is weakening against the dollar, which means bearish momentum for the Japanese yen, bullish momentum for the US dollar Japanese yen. In any case, let's have a look at some levels on the 4-hour chart. I have to go all the way up to the daily to be able to have some levels. So the first level that I see is this one, which is February highs right there. This is February 2025 highs. We are testing those levels as we speak. Well, so the market is closed right now, but definitely retesting those levels. So I would not look for longs at these possible levels, right? This is, I mean, the move has already is already gone. So what I would want to see is some pullback action, right? Some of these lows getting liquidated, maybe tapping into these highs. Actually, I'm going to use the lines on the MT Forge to be so I have more straight lines. This level seems very strong. Yeah, all the past has held very nicely. So deep pullbacks towards the 153 would be amazing for longs. All of these, have a look at all of these buyers getting liquidated. And then again here, I mean, a ton of buyers getting liquidated. This is just amazing, right? Now, we do have this immediate structure high right here that could use as a potential long. In any case, I am not looking for longs right now, other than the scenario that I'm going to talk about right now, right? So if we open and break, hold on, 50-minute chart, sorry. So this New York session was the New York session, or last New York session on Friday was extremely choppy. So if we open and liquidate that New York session low, I would be very interested for longs at the open, targeting the New York session highs and the overall weekly highs. That would be an amazing trade for me. So let me repeat that. Because I like when we have an inside session. So right here we had an inside session inside the New York inside of London session, right? That means that we have a ton of buyers here at the bottom of the London session and at the bottom of the New York session, right? Seems weird for a Friday, but in any case, might work. If we open and liquidate these lows right here, which are at, this is for a short-term trade, guys. When I was talking about deep pullbacks to 153, that might be for long-term positions, but if we're talking about day trades at the open, I would be very interested on price failing below 153.86.5 and then coming back up within the range for me to get longs on a very let's call it structure shift, right? Targeting the overall weekly highs at a 140, 154.54. That yields a very nice 46 pip move. I can't tell you how much the stop loss would be because, of course, that would be decided with the open. But again, we don't know how the market is going to open. So I'm just going to very, very tightly look at this. Now, if the US dollar Japanese yen opens with no gap, right? And we have another inside session, that would be amazingly good for that possible price failure setup right here. So this is awesome, actually. I hadn't looked at it just now. So that's me, guys. Again, thank you for joining me. Have a great trading week.